So my name is CYRE Rodriguez. It's CYRE. And when I was a little girl, I had a very cool thing that my parents were very creative. My father was an artist, a painter. And when I was a little girl, when you're raised up in Catholicism, they allow you to choose a name. And so very early on, I had met a young girl in school who she had it was sort of a scandal. She had a baby very young. She named her son Shankari, Sansure, and I thought it was so beautiful, and it meant morning star. So in fifth grade, I decided, or earlier, that I was going to incorporate that, and it's my name legally.
Well, you became, right.
Yeah, and I was very shy when I was little, but I had seen someone in school sing Hello, Dolly. And what impacted me at that very moment, when you talk about why sometimes artists is always an impactful moment, was here's this beautiful little girl. She just owned the stage. She owned herself. She was young, but she had already very clear perception of the power of herself and her voice. And that blew me away. I remember sitting there in auditorium, where you had to wear your little white shirts, yes, and saying, oh my God, I want to feel that way. And it progressed a very long journey of then pursuing the arts, although it took me a while to own it, that I really wanted to do that because I went to college, because your parents always say, you've got to get an education, and even though my father was an artist, they didn't believe that this would be a lucrative or a professional life for a young lady. And I went to Marymount College. I studied pre-med and psych. And in my last year, my epiphany, just like that same epiphany when that little girl was singing, was like, this is not my calling. Wow. My calling is to write. My calling is music. My calling is to heal, because I wanted to be a doctor to heal. Mm-hmm. My calling is to heal with music. And you've just asked what was some of the highlights of my life. And one I'll share, because we're talking about this. When 9/11 occurred, I was sitting in an office with a dear friend, and we were watching the TV, and we were very close on Madison Avenue, looking down to the towers as it was happening in burning. And I was so deeply moved. And all my life I've written poetry, and I've written words. I started writing when I was 8 years old, poetry. And I was so moved by what happened and so pained. And when I had heard the story about the man who called his wife from the plane and said, I love you, honey, I'll see you in heaven. And I wrote a song, See You in Heaven. And when I finished it, I was absolutely clear, because it really came through me. It was so profound and so poignantly honest that when I finished, I actually said a mental prayer. I said, Dear God, I wish I could sing this to the families. I feel it would heal them. And this is what's so magical about being an artist, and this is what this story I'm telling you is so important to me, because 2 months later, a gentleman that I know who worked in Washington said, I'm putting a big concert together for the families of the Pentagon. And I said, wow, that's amazing. And he said, I know you're a singer. Would you like to perform? And I was blown away, because I was clear that I was heard. And then even more so, when I was there in Washington in Liberty Hall, it was called America's Heroes. I was there with two of my heroes. Muhammad Ali was there with his wife presenting. At that time, he still had Parkinson's, but he presented. And Roberta Flack was there, and Randy Travis. And I remember, the pecking order. Yes. I was coming on later. And so Randy was sitting in the green room enjoying his little bottles, and they couldn't quite get him to get up on stage. Okay. And said, Miss Rodriguez, are you ready? And my hand was like this, because I had just written this song. And I was praying that in the excitement and the glory of it all, that I wouldn't forget the lyric. But I stood there, and then I sort of had a calm come over me, and I kind of heard an internal higher consciousness voice that said, well, look, Miss Thing, you asked me, now go out there and do what you came here to do. And it was so profound, and the families, after I sang the song, it's a very, very, I think, beautiful ballad. You could hear a pin drop, and then they clap. But it was so profound, because you you get a clear idea that you're being listened to. When you ask something so specific and then it happens, then it's not a coincidence. You know, 1,000 people can say, "Oh, I wish. Oh, if only I could." But when you ask the Creator for something with passion and such need to heal, it was healing, and I just thought, this is so beautiful. It would heal, and I see you in heaven is what I wrote. It's on YouTube.
In heaven, I'll hold you in my arms.
And I never released it because I didn't want to do it commercial. I just wanted it to be a gift because I didn't think that was proper. And I didn't release it right away. And all my friends said, you've got to put it out because it would heal. And I did. But I will just say that was one of the many, many profound, mind-blowing experiences as an artist that I had, without a doubt.
And we're here, and it's just days after the 20th anniversary of 9/11, right? And we're here, and we're celebrating music, and we're celebrating one another. And I do know exactly what you're talking about. When something comes through you.
Oh, yeah. It was clear.
And my grandmother always used to have a poem, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe you have received it, and it will be yours.
Yes.
And I understand that gift that you were given. It doesn't even belong to you, right?
No,
like the
it's
song
not.
doesn't even belong to you.
It's not.
I love that. Would you just do a little bit, just a couple of little bars?
Gosh, I'm in my Randy Travis moment. So it was, I'll see you in heaven. I'll hold you in my arms and know that I'll see your smile again. When I close my eyes, your face I see amongst the stars and hear your voice throughout the wind and know you're right here by my side. That's a part of it.
It's lovely. It's lovely. Lovely. I can't even get a word out. Lovely. Truly lovely. Thank you for that. And I do believe that music does heal. And it celebrates us. And it's the thing that kind of binds us and connects us.
Yes.
And two other powerful moments that for you, just you say to yourself, you're like, wow, I'm so happy that happened to me.
I got another one.
Okay, good.
When my parents separated when I was a little girl, when I was about 5 years old.